All right, in this video we're watching the Wheel of Time Winespring in clip, and it looks like there's a good opening shot of Eamon's Field, up in the mountains of mist. It's a beautiful shot. The inn is definitely your typical medieval fantasy inn. They're all smoking pipeweed, and drinking. It's a very festive, very warm atmosphere. These people obviously know each other. They feel very comfortable around each other. And then we see Rand, and he has a moment with Egwene where they make eye contact. She turns away. She's serving tables. She's the mayor's daughter. Perrin comes up. They have a nice little, how'd the ceremony go? Oh, we haven't spoken yet. So I think the ceremony they're referring to is Egwene got to braid her hair today. They dance around the maypole. There's a dance on the village green, and the women who are old enough to marry braid their hair for the first time, and it's basically understood that Rand and Egwene are promised, although based on the look they just exchanged, it seems like they're establishing early that it's not going to go as planned between these two. We see Tam Thor a few times in this video. He doesn't have any lines or anything. I had to watch it a few times before I picked him out. I'm glad I saw the official trailer before watching this video, because I don't think I would have liked it had I not liked the trailer so much. And it took me a few times watching it to understand that if I had seen this, if this was the only Wheel of Time media I had seen so far, I would have misunderstood it and I wouldn't have liked it. But I watched this a few times and now I understand it, and I have come away really feeling like the series is in good hands. Perrin and Rand finished their little bonding session. There's some chemistry. They both look the part, and this is interesting. In comes Lan, and we see Nineveh immediately look at him, and he looks cool. It's a very cool scene. The boys straighten up. He's standing over there, very much, very Witcher-esque. And they clearly saw The Witcher before they made this series, because this could be the first scene of The Witcher, which also takes place in a tavern. Everything takes place in a tavern in fantasy, apparently. And Nineveh confronts him, and she's holding her belt knife, which is an important part of her character. And so, spoilers here. Nineveh and Lan end up having a will they, won't they romance throughout the books. I won't tell you how it ends, or there are 13, 14 of these books, so there's a lot that happens between the two of them. This is their first meeting. Another thing I want to point out is that in the Wheel of Time, because women can channel the one power and men can't, or don't, and aren't allowed to, there's much more of a power sharing between men and women at every level of the society. As we travel around the Wheel of Time world, we see different arrangements between men and women where they're ruling jointly, because even, like in our own world, we're usually, in the history, it's the men who have held the political power, even when there are female rulers or maybe women that had a little more access to power because of who their husbands were. Generally in history, it's a sausage fest. In the Wheel of Time, that's a little bit different. And I'll give you an example. In the village of Emond's Fields, they both have a village council that's the men, headed by Bran al'Vere, Egwene's mother. And then they have the women's circle, which is run by what's called the Wisdom, which is Nineveh. She's very young to be a Wisdom. But she holds equal power, and the women's circle holds equal power to the village council, and that's spelled out very early in the series. So that was kind of why I had to watch this a few times before I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Nineveh's basically in charge here, so she can question Lan, and then Lan says, "Oh, I'm Lan, and this is Moraine, and this is why we're here." And in comes Rosamund Pike as Moraine. She looks great. It takes off her hood. Her hair looks perfect, of course. She looks at all the different people and walks over to Egwene's mother, and Nineveh clearly doesn't like her from the very beginning. We get a great shot of the Great Serpent Ring with the blue stone. Egwene's mother, I think her name is Mary. I'm not entirely sure. And then Moraine goes over to the fire, holds up her hands like she's cold, even though Aes Sedai ignore the heat and cold. There, looks at Matt, looks at Egwene, or Nineveh, still holding the belt knife. Egwene, beautiful. Rand and Perrin, just sort of establishes everything. And that's how the scene ends. She kind of walks out with another glance for, I guess, Rand. And so there's a lot going on in this video. I think it's a nice teaser. We're going to do there's another video out there that tells about Moraine's quest. I'm going to go a little bit more into Moraine's raising ceremony, and Guitarra Moroso's foretelling that sort of sets the stage for her adventure to find the Dragon Reborn. So stay tuned for that video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.